Something's gonna have a game in town.
Well, morning glory and hallelujah, everybody. Welcome to the Morning After with Nick and Big J. It is Monday, the 7th day of April, 2025. My name is Nick. Hopefully you all had a wonderful weekend. Sitting kitty corner for me, raconteur, iconoclast, storyteller, radio personality, Big J. Good morning, Big J.
Wow, that's a lot. It's quite the intro. Thank you, sir.
Do you dispute any of those claims?
All of them.
You do?
Yeah.
You don't think you're a
Storyteller.
raconteur?
I don't even know what a raconteur is.
Somebody that's
It's
a
a band.
storyteller. I kind of used the
Jack
word
White.
twice, really. Iconoclast, come on, man. I mean, you are I would say that you define a generation of radio personalities in Boise, Idaho. Agree or disagree?
Sure. Idiots.
Storyteller, you certainly do that on the daily, or you should.
I try to tell a story.
And then radio personality. These things cannot be disputed.
That I cannot dispute.
Wonderful. So welcome to Monday. Hopefully it was a good weekend. Big J, what did you do this weekend on your own turn?
Listen, the entire weekend was dedicated to getting the yard squared away.
Nice, dude.
So,
you happy with how it looks?
Yes, but
Good.
I'm exhausted. I didn't even have a chance to go ride. I was driving all over the place to do stuff for the yard, so I expect an A today. Let's put it that way.
All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, you're not just graded on yard work. Let's be honest. It's not called Big J's yard work grade.
Oh, damn.
So there's... Did I just break your
Nah,
grade?
oh, God. Oh, no. We're focusing all my energies in on this thing.
I mean, if you want to change the segment name, I suppose we could.
No, but that's been with the way the weather's been, I'm like, I got to get this squared away because
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen.
Well, this is the... listen, I know jack squat about lawns, but this, I believe, is the time where you need to do all of your prep work if you want to have a good lawn going forward. And odds are in your area, the sprinklers things aren't turned on just yet anyway.
Next week,
And
allegedly.
And so now is the time where you do the seeding and the fertilizing, and you make sure maybe you do the first mow, and you get everything ready to go so that it is good to go come the full-on spring and summer. Does that sound like I know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, dude.
All right.
You're a man who owns a house.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's
like,
you.
it's only because I read the emails that my lawn people send me. That's what it boils down to.
Love it.
On top of that, we have a sold-out concert tonight at the Revolution Concert House and Event Center. And it's going to be Hollywood Undead. It's going to be Tech Nine. It's going to be Set It Off. It's going to be 0936. All of them collectively playing. And we'll have an opportunity for you to go to that show. We need you to get qualified for Last Band Standing. We're going to play a little thing called, so we're going to get qualified for Sonic Temple. We're going to play a thing called Last Band Standing coming up at 7:30. We have another keyword coming your way as we will start to give away another 2025 American dollars today. That's going to happen with Inflation Domination a little after 9 o'clock. So we are chock full of things to give away and things to talk to you about. Plus, we'll talk to Mrs. Big J today as well.
Ooh.
And get Big J's official weekend grade. He wants the A. Will he get it? We'll find out together. We also have some music. Metallica is kicking off the morning after on the X Rocks.
In search of news. Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Important stuff is brought to you by Be Our Guest. Guess what's happening this Friday at xtruck.com, Big J?
Something's going to be half off, dude.
You're damn
Gonna
right.
get $25, spend $25 and get $50 of something awesome. What is it?
It's Watson's Mystery Cafe and Spirits.
Yes.
Yeah, if you haven't been, it's great for a night out. If you like the murder mysteries, or you like stand-up comedy, or you like improv comedy, or you like escape rooms, all of that can be found at Watson's Mystery Cafe and Spirits. It's a one-of-a-kind blend of dining, drinks, and live mystery theater. Whether you're solving a whodunit or you're just hanging out through a comedy night, it's a wonderful, wonderful treat. Features a full bar, scratch-made food, and shows that keep you guessing all night long. So if you want to go out on a date night, maybe a group outing, or just doing something different, check it out for yourself. It's a great experience, available only at xrock.com. 9 o'clock on Friday is when it goes live. Maybe you should check it out and grab yourself a $50 gift certificate to Watson's for just $25. And be our guest, will you please?
Okay.
9 o'clock at xrock.com. Do it. Well, Big J, if the rumors are to be believed, the Boise State men's basketball team was using your pick against them as motivation. They had a picture of you, a standee, where you're scantily clad, and they were pulling off a piece of that standee to reveal you nude underneath.
It's Major League.
Every time you picked against them. And much like Major League, Big J, they didn't win at all.
What?
They did have a memorable one, but they
knew
fell.
it. I told you.
They fell to Nebraska in the semifinals, 79-69, the college basketball crown. The Boise State Broncos had a nice 24-17 lead behind Pearson Carmichael, but the second half, the Cornhuskers kind of flipped the script a little bit. They transformed the deficit into a 37-29 advantage and never really looked back. And so that ended the Broncos' run in the postseason. Nebraska went on to go into the championship game, but a nice little run there at the college basketball crown in Las Vegas. Big J, agree or disagree?
Yeah, agree. At least they, won some postseason games.
Right.
I think it's been a while since that's happened.
Yep, they ended up knocking off 2. So congratulations to the Broncos. Of course, Tyson Dagenhart ends the season as the Broncos' all-time leading scorer, so that's a pretty good run as well. What comes next for the Broncos and how does Leon Rice rebuild is going to be a good question moving forward, but he certainly has proven he can do the job before, and I think he'll do it again. Agree or disagree on that?
Yeah, totally.
Also, some pretty interesting history happened over the weekend a couple times over. We'll get into the big one in the 7 o'clock hour, but UConn won their 12th national championship in women's basketball. I had a hard time believing this, but it was their first time since 2016 that they had won a national championship.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's almost 10 years.
I know. Azzy Fudd had 24 points. Paige Buckner's contributed 17 points in her final game, ending a 9-year title route for the Huskies. Buckers is expected to be the top pick in the WNBA draft, and UConn got their 12th national title in the team's history. Gino Auriemma was very happy. Saw Diana Taurasi in the locker room after the game, giving her a former coach some bleep. It was a lot of fun, so congratulations to the UConn Huskies, who won in a rout over South Carolina. It wasn't even close. It was like 82-59 or something like that. So congratulations to the UConn Huskies for winning their 12th national championship. Congratulations to the Minecraft movie, Big J, breaking some records and blowing away some projections. It earned $157 million in its opening weekend. That's the best debut for a video game adaptation and the biggest domestic debut of 2025. It was supposed to take in anywhere from $70 to $80 million from the projections, but then the ticket sales started stopping, and they're like, oh my God, this may double it, and it almost did. So a pretty big deal. Jason Statham's action flick A Working Man came in second place with $7 million. The Chosen Last Supper Part 2, that feels like an oxymoron, comes in at number 3 with $6.7 million. Snow White number 4, and The Woman in the Yard, the horror movie, comes in at number 5, but a big weekend for a Minecraft movie. And if you saw it and you want to check out our review of it, there is a Morning After the Movies podcast about a Minecraft movie. We saw it, and we give you our unedited thoughts on the film, both spoiler-free and filled with spoilers. You can check it out wherever podcasts are available. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your first important stuff. It is the X-Rocks.
Here's traffic in
The Offspring Gotta Get Away here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. The American kind of economic system is an interesting one, Big J, because there's lots of ways you can go if you're looking to get the word out about your business. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can advertise, you can create a social media page, you can hope to go viral, and all those things have some sort of positive, kind of thing attached to them, and some work better than others. Mm-hmm. But the strange thing is, what do you think is the one thing, which I have not mentioned yet, the one thing that you can do to your business that would make it somehow pick up exponentially?
Advertise right here in the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
That came in second place. You absolutely should do that. But number 1 on the list with a bullet is word of mouth, Big J. Nothing gets people more excited and more passionate about something if they can tell a story about your business. And the best way you can do it is to have something that is an incredibly huge bargain. That's what Americans love to talk about. If they found a deal, they can't wait to tell their friends about what that deal is and where they found it. So if you can find some sort of product that you can discount crazily, odds are they're going to go, hey, did you hear about Big J's store? That dude's selling all of his Dickinson flannels for like $12 a piece.
No!
Why would I pay $75 for Dixon flannels online when I can get them for $12 a piece in Radio's Big J? And that is how things start to pick up at a fast pace. 80% of Americans say they love telling other people where they can find the best deal. It makes them feel like they're in the know. It makes them somehow feel important. When you say you'll never guess where I found this, it's a great deal, and I know you would love it too, boom. All of a sudden, people are spreading the word about wherever it is that you're shopping. The average American spends about 62 minutes shopping online every week. That adds up to about 54 hours a year. Shoppers have downloaded an app or a browser extension, browsed from multiple devices, even waited in line for hours to get some sort of good deal. Think about like Black Friday.
Yeah,
when people
the good
used to
old days.
stand in line for a crazy-ass deal.
Suffer for the deal.
American consumers live busy lifestyles, but they will do and pretty much bend over backwards if you can find them a deal that they will take advantage of.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing you can do for your business. Now, that may be easier said than done, of course, in a lot of different things in today's day and age, but that's a one-way guarantee to increase your business and to help people spread the word of your business for you, which is the hardest thing to do in the society that we live in. You can hope you go viral. You can hope advertising picks up, and a lot of times it will. But having other people spread your business name for you is how you really get things done and how you have a lasting brand. And the secret to our success, Big J, if we're being perfectly honest.
I hope so.
And so whatever it is you can do, we wish you the best of luck. But maybe that's the one way you can make yourself a buck or two and walk out of this thing with a W. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it means having good customer service because nobody's spreading that kind of situation. Word of
Nobody?
mouth. Nobody.
You haven't ever had
Hey,
good
I had
customer
terrible service. You should go here.
It's true.
Never.
You better make sure you're on point. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Was Big J on point this weekend? We'll find out from Mrs. Big J. His weekend grade is next on the X Rock. That is some Pearl Jam for you. Even flow here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Gosh, about a couple months ago, your weekend started not to matter at all because all that matters is how Big J's weekend is doing because thanks to Axio Auto,
AxioAuto.com.
we get to check in with Mrs. Big J and find out how Big J's weekend really was. Big J started the show by talking about how he spent pretty much the weekend in the yard. Kylie, according to your records, is that true?
That is true.
Nice.
That is true.
Did he do good work?
Was the effort. The effort that he was putting in. He was exhausted. He would come in after an hour. He was like red, drinking water. Mason's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yep." He borrowed a machine. We've been having a battle since last year about edging the grass. And I'm like, it's growing out over our cement. He's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, okay. And we've been fighting about it. I'm like, you know what? You do that edging, you're going to get a much better grade. And he went and borrowed an edger, and he went around and he realized, oh, yes, it was on our cement. And I think it took a toll on his body.
Yeah.
And then the very next day, he came right back. Mowing, he weed-eated. I mean, he was all over the place.
Yeah, Big J told us he spent the weekend edging. That's not what I thought he meant when he was doing it, but it sounds like that makes a little bit more sense.
I had to borrow a bladed edger from Anthony.
No, not a real landscape. All right.
Yeah, a real landscaper, Turf Brothers Landscaping. Shout out to Anthony. But I was like, hey, bro, do you have an edged, a bladed edger? And he's like, yeah, of course. And so I borrowed it, and he walked me through how to, set it up and run it and everything. And it was it's a thing. Like, it's a piece of equipment, and it can be dangerous. Let me tell you what.
Did you hurt yourself?
No, I didn't hurt myself, but it was a lot. I got a blister. I should have wore some gloves, but yeah, it was really bad on one part of our lawn, and I pretty much had to use the edger and then dig out the leftovers because we really had a lot of the grass and dirt that was coming over onto the sidewalk, and so we wanted to clean that up to make it look nice. And so yeah, that managed, but it was a lot of work.
I can imagine. And Kylie, did that make you happy and proud?
It did. I was so impressed. I went out twice to look, and I mean, there was a couple of spots where maybe he tried to use the edger for the first time that kind of drove over, not on the edge of the grass. It kind of went over a little bit, but he did an amazing job, like more than I could even imagine effort-wise, like the effort he put into it.
Let that ring in more than she could even imagine.
Well, it sounds like you're moving the bar, Big J. That's terrible news for you.
Yeah.
Because now she can imagine the amount of effort you can put in.
Crap, you're right.
But, and so are you happy with the way it now looks? Are you guys ready for spring and summer with the lawn kind of set up? At least we have a good little kind of barometer here?
Yeah, we have a good base. Yeah.
Beautiful. Did he do anything else of note over the weekend that deserves some shout-outs, or the week, I suppose?
He does, actually. Our nephew was staying with us, who's 16, and he had a BB gun, and it's a hand BB gun that we let him use. And while my husband was sitting in his office playing video games this weekend, he picks up the BB gun and pulls the trigger. For whatever reason, shoots his computer screen, and he thought, oh, was there something in there? And it looks like he has a bullet hole in his computer monitor, and now he broke it. Yep.
Yeah, she wanted to tell his story. I wanted to save it to talk about my own moronicism and how I broke the cardinal rule of firearms, and didn't, even if it was a BB gun, not realizing that he even had BBs or that it would have. And so I had turned my desktop computer at home off because it was in that room. Didn't want it on while he was in there, you know, and so I think, that was Thursday that happened. And I just kind of like randomly, because, again, the monitor's off, right? And I pulled the trigger and something came out and I didn't even see where it went and realized, oh, hey, there's BBs in this. And then I unloaded it. So cardinal rule, always assume a weapon is loaded, and you should not shoot at something or point it at something you don't want destroyed. So the next day, Nick, Friday, I get home and I finally turn on my desktop. I need it because I got to put up the movie podcast, all that stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? Is this a new screensaver on my screen? And it looks like a bullet hole. And you can't see any marking on the actual monitor itself. And it's totally ruined. And I'm just like, God, I'm an idiot. I can't believe I did that. I broke a cardinal rule.
Do you have a reason why you pulled the trigger? Like, in my mind, you're saying this monologue and you're like saying something and you pulled the trigger?
Completely like unaware of my surroundings and everything. Just one moment of just complete paralysis of using a brain. And so it could have been really bad had that been an actual firearm. But I mean, I might have been a different story. But
that's not great, Kylie. You're right. So there are peaks and valleys for Big J's grade. What do you? I
had to work that hard to work that off.
What do you give him for the weekend?
Oh, he's getting an A.
Hey, you did it, dude. You wanted it and you got it.
She told me the edging would get an A.
Yeah. Well, listen. Keep that in mind for every other part of your marriage. Congratulations, Kylie. You got yourself a husband that got you an A this weekend. It must feel pretty good, I imagine.
It does.
Beautiful. Happy A, Big J. Congratulations. You earned it, pal. You went for it. To see what happens when you study for exams, you get A's.
I will say this: the entire weekend, other than going to my daughter-in-law's birthday lunch with the family, I spent the entire weekend at the house working. I didn't get out to ride my motorcycle. So
well, it's coming. You know that. Congratulations, Kylie. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, you have a great rest of your day, okay?
You too. Take care.
Thank
you. Bye.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Coming up, some important stuff and an opportunity to get qualified for Sonic Temple. It's next on the X.
Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
I don't know if some people will be surprised by this, but I'm guessing that maybe you will. It does seem obvious, though, sometimes when you think about it, but maybe you just need to hear it out loud for that connection to kind of be made. Researchers in Australia and Singapore spent the last decade studying about 35,000 different people. And these were all fairly good people that did a lot of good things in their life, gave a lot to charity, etc., volunteered a lot of time. They, from the basic, I guess starting from zero, they seem like pretty positive people, right?
Sure.
All sorts of different backgrounds, all sorts of different cultures going on, all sorts of different religions. So none of that stuff played a factor. And what they found out was, people that do volunteer and give a little time and perform stuff for charity certainly are more fulfilled than those that don't. But what it really breaks down to is
suckers.
It's not what you do, Big J. You could volunteer for 45 hours a week and still feel miserable. That is something that this study did figure out. But it's the reason why you do these things that helps fuel your happiness. If you are, sentenced to community service, the community service you do probably isn't going to be done with a lot of enthusiasm. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
reason behind it.
Court-ordered
Yes.
community service.
If you are volunteering at a soup shelter or at a soup kitchen because you want to actually help your fellow man, woman, and child, that's probably going to give you a lot more fulfillment than if it was an assignment for a college class and or something you were tasked with doing and not something that you're trying to do to make the world a better place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about the joy and connection that you have to these things that you do, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be charity-based. Whatever you're doing, if there is a fulfilling and
purpose.
meaningful reason behind it, yes,
You have to have a purpose.
you get some more fulfillment and happiness out of whatever that is, as opposed to, I'm just cashing a check here.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Our simulator programming demands that we have a purpose. And only until we find that purpose can we live a good life.
And in
That's
your
how I believe.
situation,
Yeah, I believe
level
that.
up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Level
So,
up.
regardless of individualism or collectivism or background or religion or any of that stuff, you just got to make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And if you are going to be fulfilled and you're going to be happy. Big J, how did you celebrate Alexander Ovechkin making hockey history yesterday?
I got up and down and
You got up
hooped
and down.
hollered. Hooped and hollered
Right.
as I was watching the game.
I don't believe that for a second,
Yeah,
but it
I
is
did.
nice that you understood what was happening. But hey, listen, man,
I got an alert from ESPN. Said, hey, man, it's done.
if anything deserves some Big J getting up and down and hooping and hollering, it is Alexander Ovechkin breaking what was assumed to be an unbreakable record.
Yeah.
When he surpassed Wayne Gretzky's long-standing goal record, scored 895 goals in his career. The milestone occurred during the second period against the New York Islanders. The Capitals lost the game, but nobody cares. As Ovechkin did history, the most amazing thing, Big J, is he did it. He broke the record in the exact same amount of games that Gretzky
Get
had
outta
his
here,
record.
really?
The exact same number.
Crazy. He couldn't do it in one game before?
Well, I
what
mean,
a loser.
Technically, he scored more goals than Wayne Gretzky did in the
Yeah.
same amount of games. So it isn't like it took him
Wow.
2 or 3 seasons more, or it wasn't like done something that was done after a season. But still, that's. I mean, listen. There's injuries. There's all sorts of stuff that goes into that.
And he's been through it,
The
too,
fact,
so.
yes, that happened is incredibly coincidental. Gretzky was in attendance, standing ovation. Gary Bettman was there. He praised him as a unique and unstoppable force. And it was pretty incredible that this happened. And we saw it in our lifetimes. It's crazy. Everybody, it's strange how social media works. I saw a lot of people celebrating, and everybody's still defending Wayne Gretzky as the great one and how many assists that Wayne Gretzky has. He has 3 times as many as Ovechkin. It's hard not to get involved in those things when it's like, listen, nobody is calling Alexander Ovechkin the great one now. I mean, that title still belongs to Wayne Gretzky, but you can celebrate the fact that he broke an unbreakable record and give him credit for that without disparaging all the things that Wayne Gretzky did, right?
Yeah. Is there a controversy?
Well, yeah. It turns into one. Anytime there's a social media post, everybody's got to defend Wayne Gretzky like we're trying to take him down a peg or two, but that's not the case. I mean, Wayne Gretzky was the greatest hockey player of all time.
He's the great one.
Alexander
That's the only-
Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer of all time. The end. That's all it really boils down to. Was Wayne Gretzky a better overall player? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But that's not what that story's about. Nobody was giving him the title of best hockey player ever. They're just saying he broke Wayne Gretzky's record of most goals scored. Everybody needs to calm down, I guess is my point. And now I'm all worked up. So now I'm a hypocrite here. What the hell's happening? But congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin. Well-deserved and an incredible piece of hockey history over the weekend. Big J, something interesting is happening at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Of course, they've been one of the premier concert venues since it opened up a couple of years ago, and now they want to turn this into a immersive movie theater as well. The Wizard of Oz will be presented there as a new fully immersive experience beginning on August 28th. They're using advanced technologies and enhancing the original film while preserving its essence as well. And so they're trying to do this with different screenings. I mean, some of it takes place, it kind of lends itself better to it, like extreme sports POV stuff really does. It really, can I imagine, would play well there at the Sphere. But this is the first time that they're taking like an existing movie and trying to make an immersive experience out of it. Having been to the Sphere, I really wonder what this is going to look like. I imagine it's going to be pretty cool. But I will say this, if you get a chance and you don't have vertigo easily. That I can understand how you could get that at the Sphere. There's no doubt about it. But if you get a chance to check it out, whether it's a concert or it's that movie that they're airing on a loop there, I think you should check out the Sphere. It's pretty cool. And I wonder what this would be like in a long-form kind of a movie side of things with Wizard of Oz. But I'm sure there's going to be lots of people that are going to be checking it out as they continue to find different things to logjam into that particular venue, because it's a special place, that's for sure. Not just the outside, but the inside as well. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There is your important stuff. How about you get qualified for Sonic Temple? Last band standing next on the X.
Last band standing. To get qualified for a trip for two to Sonic Temple, presented by Axio Auto. AxioAuto.com. On 100.3, The X rocks.
Sonic Temple happening next month in Columbus, Ohio. It is the biggest rock festival in the nation. We have a wonderful relationship with that festival, have since the Rock on the Range days, Big J, back when we were both wearing short pants in this radio station. And we are now passing on that savings on to you and sending you and a guest to Columbus, Ohio in our stead. You will go and enjoy the 4-day festival. You will be in Columbus, Ohio, living the high life. We got your hotel taken care of, your flight taken care of, your 4-day passes taken care of. All you need to do is get qualified and then join us on April 28th at a little place called Barbarian Brewing in Garden City. Ever been, Big J?
I've been.
You know you've been. Great beer, great food, great people, and a great opportunity for you to win a trip.
Too.
Yes, all those things. So if you want to get in on this and get an exclusive invite to our getaway party, you have to play Last Band Standing. You can do so by getting on the phone right now, 208-287-1003. Big J will ask you a multiple choice question about Sonic Temple or Sonic Temple bands. If you get it right, you are officially qualified and joining us on April 28th, and maybe, just maybe, we're making somebody's day. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Totally agree with all of what you just said.
Let's go to the phones and see if we can't get ourselves somebody. Oh, okay, fine, whatever. Hello, the X.
Hey, do you have a caller yet?
You are caller number 1. What's your name, sir?
My name is Justin.
All right, Justin, let's see if we can get you qualified. Here comes Big J with your question, all right?
All right.
What is the name of Metallica's drummer? Is it Jan DuPont, Tobias Cork, or Lars Ulrich?
Lars Ulrich.
That is 100% correct, sir.
You nailed it, Justin. Good job, my friend. You're officially joining us at our giveaway party at Barbarian Brewing on April 28th. You knew your Metallica. That's what it takes. Metallica, of course, headlining 2 of the nights at Sonic Temple this year with completely different sets each night. So that is why they're in the running. You got 2 more opportunities to qualify today, 12:30 with Mr. Jason Drew, and then 5:10 today with Adam. So tune in and answer your multiple choice question correctly. Next thing you know, you could be qualified to go check out Sonic Temple. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We're going to go to hell, and we're going to do it next on the X Rocks.
Delight. Stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh man, we're going to hell.
Rotten hell, you worthless maggot!
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X rocks.
Today is an episode of We're Going to Hell International, kind of with an American flavor. It really does. This is not a story except for Americans, man. We are dumb. We are so dumb. Or we're not watching enough movies and TV. One of the two, which I don't know is possible.
Maybe not being cultured enough.
I guess. But we are headed to Turkey for today's We're Going to Hell story. And listen, this is an elaborate one. I'm going to take you on an adventure, so strap in and buckle in, okay?
Okay.
Starts with a group of, I would say it's a complex operation. There's at least 11 people involved in this operation. Yeah. But it's like something out of like a really crappy B movie that you've seen 1.5 billion times, right? It's a tourist bar in Turkey. They know where this is go. This is where Americans go. It's a Western-style bar. They feel comfortable there. A lot of Americans will go there and belly up to the bar and spend some time. There are a group of 4 men sitting at a table talking about this treasure map that they have found, right? And they're going on and on and on about it, and they're just like, man, if we had one more person, maybe 2, we'd be able to pull this off and get some treasure, but I don't know. And, of course, somebody then overhears them, what's going on, and they're like, hey, treasure map? I'm on a vacation.
I'm free?
What's a treasure map? And they're like, listen, this is a dangerous thing. We don't even know if there's anything there. There's no consideration that there might be a payoff. But somebody's like, hey, listen, I came to Turkey to go on an adventure. How about we just go check into this treasure map of yours?
Sounds like a scam.
The maps were very detailed. They looked very old, and they featured some nearby locations that if you had done any kind of investigation about the area at all, you'd be able to be familiar with. So you know that it's not fake locations on the map.
Okay, check.
Now, these scammers claim to be from far away as
they
well.
are scammers.
Well, of course. And so they had said, like, listen, we don't even know these places. And if you had made any kind of, like, Google investigation, you're like, no, I've heard of this statue. I know where that is. And said that they had some problems navigating the area and maybe this tourist could help them. And they're like, listen, you can even join us for free. If we find something, we'll all split the booty. How about that? And they're like, all right, cool. So that's only half of the scam.
Intricate, man.
Yes.
Intricate.
Now the rest of the scam, that's how they hook the victims, right? The rest of the scam is they go digging in a couple of locations that are on this elaborate but very fake treasure map. And then they dig up some treasure, some coins, and some gold-like statues. And they're like, oh my God, this is actually happening. And down they're like, okay, we're in. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this would be a great tourist, almost like an escape room adventure.
Sure.
Right?
Like a
the
scavenger
game
hunt.
or something.
Right. But here's the deal. Turkey has this issue where cultural value could be confiscated by the state. They all look it up on Google. That's a real thing. So they're like, listen, we got to find a fence to figure out the way to do this. And then they video call with what they've heard is a priest that understands what these particular statues and coins are.
This is unfolding like a make-your-own-adventure movie, man.
Priest video calls them, looks at the actual statues and the coins and goes, Dios mío. This is priceless, my friends. Priceless. You have found a treasure that I cannot believe. What do we do? And so they're like, listen, I know somebody that could possibly sell this stuff. So how about you let me buy it from you? And I'll do this in like 2 weeks, and then we'll be able to do it. Meanwhile, they know the tourist goes home in like 5 days. And they're like, listen, how about this? You give us a certain amount of money. We'll give you some of this stuff, and then you can fence it through it. And it cons people out of anywhere from whatever they have on them, from $500 to $3,000. They've been able to do this, and they've been doing it for a while. All told, it looks like they have basically conned unwitting victims out of more than 50 million Turkish lira. That leads to about 1.3 million US dollars. They've been doing this scam for almost 3 years now, and it works almost every time.
Like clockwork.
Finally, they were able to shut it down and arrest all parties involved. But holy cow, dude. Doesn't it seem like a really bad movie? Like you've seen a billion and a half times?
No, it sounds like a great movie. What are you talking about?
Unless you're the one getting scammed. Then it's a terrible movie. But I'm saying, like, this is the plot of, like, 17 different films.
I wonder how long it takes for them to realize they've been scammed.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say that. But they finally got enough reports. They were able to essentially arrest 27 total people involved in the scam and accomplices. And they seized plenty of evidence because, of course, all these statues and everything else were fake, and coins that they made, they weren't real either. And so there was a lot of, planning that went into it. We'll give them that.
Yeah,
but
very sophisticated.
It worked for years, 3 years. And listen, I imagine $1.3 million split, 27 ways? Not a bad payday. You do okay.
Yeah.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. The point is, don't believe any treasure map you see on your vacation. Please and thank you. All right? You've been
Especially
warned.
when it's a lot of people you don't know telling you about it.
Yes, you've been warned. Or you overhear something at a bar. I mean, this is like TV show 101. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X-Rocks.
Here's traffic inside the
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, the Pew Research Center conducted some surveys in multiple countries and with lots of people here, especially in the United States, to figure out what the optimal ages are for significant milestones. It's a lot of big words for saying, hey, when should you get married? When should you buy a house? When should you retire? You understand?
Yeah.
And the data showed that on average, the mid-20s were considered ideal for marriage and parenthood. That's when you want to start settling down. That's when you want to start having kids, etc., etc., with, of course, varied extremes across countries. But the best age to buy a home ranged widely, especially here in the United States, anywhere from the early 20s to the mid-30s. But that, of course, depends on the location that you live in here in the country when that should be. In terms of retirement, most believe late 50s was optimal, although those opinions and facts fluctuated. Americans, on average, suggest ages of basically anywhere from 61 to 63 for optimal age of retirement. So let's see how you do. Well, we're going to get down to the specifics for America. 26 and a half for marriage. How old are you when you got married, Big J?
In my 30s.
Fail. 27.3 is the average age for becoming a parent. How'd you do there?
30s.
Fail. 28 for buying a house. How'd you do?
Didn't really buy a house. I kind of swooped in on that. So I don't know if I can really say I bought a house.
Yeah, buying a house is not sexually transmitted, so fail. And retirement, 61.8. How'd you do there?
I'm not retired.
All right. What, are you gunning for 62?
Nah, come on now. We're at 70s now.
All right.
70s.
Listen, we're not doing great hitting those milestones. For the record, I fail in all of them as well. So not doing great. I'm much older in terms of marriage, parenting, and house buying, and retiring, probably never, let's be honest. So I'm skewing much later for all of this stuff, as are you, I believe. But hey, listen, if you can hit those milestones, congratulations.
Yeah, God bless.
Proud of you. Big J, we got sports beef. In this corner, NFL superstar Lamar Jackson, Big J. In the red corner, NASCAR superstar Dale Earnhardt Jr. Who you got?
Well, what's it about?
They're beefing over a trademark dispute.
Listen, I'm going to go with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
All right.
He was leaning in on number 8 long before Lamar even had it.
It's exactly what they're fighting over. The number 8, believe it or not.
I already knew.
Jackson wore number 8 since his college days, has filed a suit to stop Earnhardt from using the slanted version of the number on merchandise. Now, this is not the first time that Jackson has gotten a little testy over the number 8. He previously went head-to-head with Troy Aikman with his attempt to use 8 on apparel.
Listen, jackass, he's in the Hall of Fame, you bastard.
I don't understand how you can copyright and trademark a number. That feels silly to me.
It shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. I mean, a phrase, it's the same thing with words. Singular words, unless you completely made it up, which I guess technically
How
all
about
words
Lamar
are made
Jackson maybe wins a couple playoff games in a row? How about let's get there, pal?
I don't think allocates dictate on
Listen,
whether or not you should.
I didn't really like Lamar Jackson. Now I really don't.
Why don't you like Lamar Jackson?
No,
I don't want to get into why you don't like Lamar Jackson.
I don't think he's that great.
The trademark review process can take over a year, so this battle is far from over, but he did win the challenge against Troy Aikman, so I don't know what that means. Maybe because he put it in first, but it does seem silly to me that in sports where everything is number-based, you can trademark a particular number across sports. I mean, I guess it's different. I mean, you know, but Jackie Robinson has certainly trademarked 42.
Yeah, but that's
to his family, and nobody else can use that number, and so there's a lot of things that go into it, but like to be able to say nobody else in any other sport or in the history of time can use that particular number that they also wore for their entire career or had for their entire career seems silly to me. But that's not how the United States trademark policies work, Big J, nor the court system for that matter.
Yeah, well, there sure as hell isn't some czar of common sense there.
Nope. I'll tell you what, Nintendo, if you're looking for a Switch 2, you could be in trouble, my friend. Because
be in trouble for a lot of stuff.
Yes, they have postponed all pre-orders for the Switch 2 in the United States. Why do you think that is, Big J?
Oh, the new tariffs?
100% correct.
I think that thing was $500 for the most part.
Yes, and now with the tariffs that have recently been instituted, because the Nintendo Switch 2 actually puts components from China, Vietnam, and Cambodia into its actual product, you're looking at a price increase of $180 per unit. So now the $500 Switch 2 suddenly is $680, and people are like, what the hell just happened? It just jumped almost $200 in the span of a day. Now, they still plan on releasing it on June 5th, but they're like, we'll see. I mean, because listen, tariffs have come and gone, let's be honest, over the last couple of weeks. So who knows what the hell's going to happen on by June 5th? You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm hoping, you're crossing my finger, it's all just come to the table to talk about this stuff. Moves, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, nobody knows. And it's silly to try to guess because it just doesn't work out that way. But as of now, you cannot pre-order the Switch 2 in the United States until they figure this all out, or if they do, who knows? So you may just have to buy it on June 5th when it comes out. And it might be $180 more expensive than you thought. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. Are you ready for some Pop Culture Smackdown, Big J?
I'm ready, man. Are you?
Are you ready to talk to superstar Ed Helms?
Yeah!
From The Office. Both of those are next on the X-Rocks.
Pop Culture Smackdown. On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, tonight there's a sold-out show at the Revolution Concert House and Event Center, and it's a doozy, man. We've got Hollywood Undead here, a couple bands that have actually played some X-Fest for us. Hollywood Undead, you got Tech Nine, we've got 0936, and that isn't all. There's more. You're going to get these tickets here. Last pair that we have. You just got to beat Nick at Pop Culture Smackdown.
208-287-1003 is the number you need to call if you'd like to play a little game called Pop Culture Smackdown and go tonight on us. If you'd like that, then get on the phone and let's see if you can win some Pop Culture Smackdown questions. Are you ready, Big J?
Yep.
Hello, the X.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, man. What's your name?
Seth.
All right, Seth, you're up first. Best of luck.
Russell Crowe's accent might lead you to believe he's from Australia, but he's actually from another country. Is it New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, or America?
I'm going to say New Zealand.
That's correct. Nick, like many actors, Russell Crowe fancies himself a singer. What's the name of the actor's band? We have talked about this before.
Oh, man, I don't even have the
Seth,
slightest idea.
Seth, you don't need to worry about it, pal. It's up to Nick to
Don't
get
worry
this
about
right.
it.
Oh, okay.
I think this is right. I can't remember if it's 30 or 40. I'm going to say 30 odd foot of grunt.
You know what? It's close enough, Nick.
Okay.
It's 30 grunt foot. So
30 grunt
30 foot
foot?
grunt.
30 foot grunt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird, right? It's a
Yeah.
weird thing. Seth, Jackie Chan has broken nearly every bone in his body doing what? Self-torture, his own stunts, or as a crash test dummy?
His own stunt.
There you go. Nice work. Nick, besides acting and martial arts, Jackie Chan has also pursued a successful career in what other performing art?
That's all I get?
Yep, that's all you get.
What else could be in performing arts? Did he release an album? God, he might have. He might be one of those guys that released it now. I'm going to say singing.
Yes, he's hugely famous for singing.
Got lucky
I
there.
thought that was an easy question.
Got lucky.
Seth, what wildly successful buddy cop franchise pairs Jackie Chan as a Hong Kong detective with Chris Tucker as a loudmouth LAPD officer?
Ooh, the one and only Rush Hour.
There you go. Nick, what was the name of the popular animated TV series that ran from 2000 to 2005 featuring a fictionalized Jackie Chan battling evil with magical talismans? Is it Jackie Chan Kung Fu Hour, Jackie Chan Adventures, or The Magic of Jackie Chan?
I think it's Jackie Chan Adventures.
It is Jackie Chan Adventures.
It was a cartoon, right? With
Yeah,
kids?
it was.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really didn't think you would get that.
I wouldn't have got it had you not given me choice.
Seth, which famous Hollywood actor is Francis Ford Coppola's nephew? Is it Nicolas Cage, Pedro Pascal, or Tom Cruise?
Oh, can you repeat those names one more time? Sorry.
Nick Cage, Pedro Pascal, or Tom Cruise?
I'm going to say Pedro Pascal.
Sorry, Seth. I was rooting for
See,
you.
this is why I don't give you choices, Nick.
All right, take it easy.
Poor
I'm sorry.
Seth, man.
Hello, the
Goes
X.
through it, kicks ass. On the last question, I mean, really.
Hey, here comes Big J with your question.
God, I feel like such a jerk. All right. Which famous Hollywood actor is Francis Ford Coppola's nephew? Is it Nicolas Cage, Pedro Pascal, or Tom Cruise?
It is Nicolas Cage.
It is, yes.
Nicholas Coppola, of course.
Yes, Nicholas Kim Coppola is his actual name.
Him.
Nick, the production of which iconic Coppola war film was notoriously plagued by problems, including typhoons, illness, budget overruns, and lengthy delays?
Apocalypse Now.
That is correct. That's all the questions.
Nailed it, man. Congratulations. What's your name, sir?
Rich.
Rich, you were going to go check out the sold-out show tonight with Hollywood Undead, Tech Nine, Set It Off, and 0936. Well done. Hang on just 1 second. We'll get you everything you need to know for tonight's big show, and we are going to come back and talk to the one and only Ed Helms from The Office and the Hangover movies about his new podcast. That's next on the X. Awesome. Thank you. Good morning, Ed. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
We're hanging in there, man. Thank you so much for making some time this morning, and congratulations on season 3 of SNAFU. Let's talk about the origin stories for a second. How did you decide that this was a podcast you wanted to do and deal about these particular topics?
As you may know, is a podcast about history's greatest screw-ups, and you know what I think a lot of people out there know is that I am definitely an expert on screw-ups. Made a lot of movies and TV shows about those. And a lot of people may not know is that I'm a bit of a history nerd, and I just it's always been a hobby and an interest of mine. And you know, when the podcast boom came on the scene, I kind of was thinking, maybe where do I fit into this? And I didn't want to just do another celebrity interview show, those are great. I love those, and I've been on a bunch of those. But I just felt like maybe this is where my hobby meets the showbiz world. And so here we are. We have SNAFU, the podcast, and season 3 just came out. I'm insanely proud of it, and that's it.
You know, my friend Nick and I were just discussing, Ed, that the production value on this podcast is really great. And, you know, you take us through, especially in this season, about Prohibition, and we hear clips and things from the old-timey radio, which is always fun. But how much work goes into putting together just an episode of SNAFU?
I really appreciate you calling that out. This is a labor of love, and it is a ton of labor. What you're hearing in these episodes of SNAFU is just an epic amount of research, writing, rewriting, editing, and then, as you noted, the production. We put a ton of work into the actual audio production, so we try to create a real cinematic experience for the listeners. Tons of sound design. I don't know if you're familiar with other podcasts like Radio Lab. Mm-hmm. That's one that we always loved and was a bit of a North Star in terms of like a listener experience. Lots of sound design, lots of it's essentially documentary style audio, but we've just added a lot of score and music, and the interviews are intercut in a really creative way. We use archival audio, as you noted, some old-timey radio stuff, and this season is all about Prohibition. So there's just incredible, like, great classic audio to pull from, and it really is an immersive listening experience.
Ed Helms joins us, host of the podcast SNAFU. You can find it wherever podcasts are available. Season 3 is out now. Ed, take us behind the scenes on like the pitching of these seasons, because we all know a little bit about Prohibition, and Season 2 was kind of about the CIA, and Season 1 was about the Cold War, but you find these really interesting kind of side stories about specifics of these particular things, and then deep dive into these topics that are really, really not discussed very much. I imagine there's a lot of ideas pitched around for what the season should focus on, right?
Absolutely. We have an incredible team. I work with great producers here at my company, Pacific Electric, and then Film Nation is also our partner in this, and then an audio production company called Gilded Audio, and they're just brilliant. Everybody, the whole team, we circle up and bounce around a lot of ideas, and you know there's thankfully humanity is dumb. Like, we make a lot of mistakes, and so when it comes to fodder for a podcast like this, it's just endless. There's so much to choose from, but we really wanted to focus on things that maybe aren't that have maybe faded from public memory a little bit. So they're not quite as zeitgeisty. We're not going to talk about the Titanic. We're not going to talk about Watergate, but we're going to talk about things that are that important or that impactful that maybe have kind of washed out in the popular perception of history. So, like you said, Season 1 is a Cold War story in 1983. A NATO military exercise really rattled the Soviets, and they actually thought that it was a NATO staging a nuclear attack. So they ramped up their nuclear posture. We clocked that, ramped up our nuclear posture. This was all classified until just a couple of years ago, but a lot of historians believe it's the closest we came to an actual nuclear holocaust. And it's a wild story of just terrible judgment, bad decisions. It's darkly hilarious, mm-hmm. but also kind of chilling. Season 2, as you mentioned, is in the 70s. A bunch of citizens, activists, noted that the FBI was getting out of control under J. Edgar Hoover. A lot of weird intimidation, surveillance, things that just were not legal, really. And they had no recourse. How do we prove the FBI is out of line? So they broke into they staged this epic heist and broke into the FBI and stole files, leaked them to the Washington Post, and it's what exposed J. Edgar Hoover for the criminal that he was, and toppled J. Edgar Hoover. And it's the only reason that Congress opened up this huge investigation called the Frank Church hearings, and it's the only reason we have any oversight over the CIA and the NSA and all the intelligence and the FBI, all the intelligence institutions. So this is huge stuff, and people don't know about it. Back in the 70s, it was very big news, but we don't remember it. And they're really fascinating, wild stories of human perseverance and courage. Each season is a deep dive into a one story. So 8 episodes all about one story. And season 3, which just came out, which I'm really excited to be promoting, is a story. It's prohibition, but it's kind of underneath prohibition. Everyone knows about prohibition, but what people don't know is that the U.S. government during prohibition was actually deliberately adding poison to the industrial alcohol supply, knowing that it would enter the bootleg market and poison people, which it did, and thousands of people died. So the U.S. government effectively murdered a lot of people in the 20s, and it's scary stuff, but also funny. We think it's fun and kind of funny.
It's
that was a long answer.
That's all right.
Thanks for letting me go on that.
It's a super deep dive, and I think that I learned so much just listening to the first couple episodes of season 3. I had no idea about some of that stuff, so thankful for that. And there's also now a book that you guys have just put out on the SNAFU podcast as well, so you're branching out big time.
Branching out, book coming out in just a few weeks. I'm so proud of it. It has a whole bunch of new snafus that aren't in the podcast, and it's really funny and great. Check it out.
Of course we will. Absolutely. Ed, thank you very much for your time. Check out SNAFU Season 3. The podcast is out now. You have a good one, sir.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Bye.
News you can barely use. It's Headlines on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Headlines are as follows, my friend. He did it. Hey, gross, man. And tone it down, rich guy.
Hey, gross, man.
In New York City, a bike rider presumed to be a delivery man was captured on video attempting to rebox a pizza that had fallen on the street, Big J. The incident was reported by the New York Post, which of course means nothing, if you know. But it shows the rider quickly retrieving the pizza that had allegedly dropped onto the pavement. The video was filmed by Natasha Jerrigan on March 28th on the Upper East Side, gained some viral attention on social media. Then Jerrigan's commentary in the clip expressed concern over the unsanitary act, garnering over 240,000 views on Instagram. The incident sparked discussions among viewers among delivery mishaps and whether the pizza was ultimately delivered or replaced. Big J, I don't think I'd want to eat a New York street pizza. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound great.
No. I mean, listen, accidents happen. I think I told you the incident in my house where somebody was delivering a pizza and a box of chicken wings and then just straight up dropped the entire box of chicken wings all over the front of my stoop.
Damn.
And I was like, well, listen, I'm not going to eat them now. So what do we do? And she's like, well, I can go back. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to want them an hour and a half from now when you can come back. Why don't you just put credit on my account? Big J, did I ever get that credit?
No.
That's absolutely correct.
Never.
He did it, or tone it down, rich man.
Tone it down, rich dude.
CEO Kenneth DeGiorgio of the First American Financial Corporation is in trouble, and he now faces assault charges stemming from an altercation that began on a cruise ship, Big J. They were on a cruise ship cocktail lounge, he and his wife, when one of the workers there asked his barefoot wife to please put on shoes. It's part of the actual, rules of the ship. You need to have shoes on at all times. Why that is, I don't know, but that was one of the rules. That is when the CEO, Mr. DeGiorgio, ended up getting up and started to try to choke out the person that asked his wife to put on shoes for, quote, talking to his wife. The incident occurred Monday night in international waters near Martinique. I am to believe that anything goes in international waters, Big J.
Yeah, generally.
He could have killed this guy and nothing would have happened, right?
I don't know about that.
But now he's facing assault charge. The ship's captain instructed him to stay in the stateroom until the ship arrived in Puerto Rico the following day. That's when FBI agents arrived in Puerto Rico, and he was detained by the agents, and now he's facing assault charges. That's very complicated. But yeah, I thought it was anything goes in international waters.
No, I don't. You can't murder people in international waters.
Well, then the Simpsons have steered me wrong.
Sorry.
What am I to say?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of.
There were monkey knife fights on the Simpsons.
Now that's okay.
Oh, okay. That's all right in international water. Understood. Wrap it up with He Did It. Congratulations to American Tuit Haynes, Big J. He has reclaimed, and rightfully so, the Guinness World Record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours. Now, he held the title previously. His initial record was surpassed within a day by an Australian man, but Haynes persevered and reestablished the world record, Big J. He completed an impressive 10,001 pull-ups within 24 hours.
Jesus.
BB gun to your head, Big J. How many pull-ups could you do?
Zero, probably.
Zero? Not a single one?
A lot of weight.
He said what he learned is he's not going to give up. He was blessed with he was not blessed with unique ability or super strength. Things haven't really come easy to him, but he's got the ability not to give up on his goals. And he is very happy that he's now once again in the Guinness Book of World Records. That is a lot of pull-ups. At some point, the body would shut down, you would think. 10,001. My God.
Mine almost shut down using an edger this weekend.
Can you imagine Jay lying on his lawn, face down, edger still spinning? But he's all right, everybody. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your headlines. You're up to date on everything. Your bad impressions next on the X Rocks.
Impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, bad impressions here this morning. We have some tickets for you, too. Sold out show tonight at the Revolution Concert House and Event Center. Hollywood and Dead, Tech 9. We got 0936 there as well. So it's going to be a hell of a show. We'll get you tickets here to this show tonight. You just need to figure out bad impressions.
Our number is 208-287-1003. Bad impressions works like this. Big J will give you 3 clues. They're all supposed to point you in the direction of somebody that is pretty famous. It is a famous person today, yes?
Yes.
And if you can figure out who that famous person is in 3 clues or less, congratulations, it is you going to that sold-out show tonight with Hollywood Undead, Tech 9, Set It Off, and 0936. You want in? 208-287-1003. Big J, are you ready?
Yeah.
Hello, the X.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. What's your name?
Todd.
All right, Todd, you're up first. Good luck, man.
I started out acting as a kid for Disney movies way back in the 60s.
Next one, please.
I've worked with John Carpenter a bunch. Snake Plissken, Jack Burton, Elvis Presley, and J.R. McCready in The Thing.
Kurt Russell.
There you go. Yeah.
Nailed it. Congratulations. Hang on 1 second there, Todd. We'll hook you up with the tickets for tonight. What was clue 3 for fun?
Goldie Hawn and I have been together for about 40 years, but not married.
And why is Kurt Russell in the news?
Kurt Russell joined a cast of funky characters last week as John Carpenter was finally receiving, Nick, his Hollywood star on the Hollywood Walk there. Him and Keith David making an appearance as well. Those two haven't seen each other since they concluded the filming for The Thing, so there was quite the reunion there. And, of course, John Carpenter being celebrated. He closed the event by saying this: "Thank you for this place on the sacred boulevard where people and dogs can pee on me at any time."
Wonderful, well-deserved. John Carpenter, one of the icons of cinema and horror for sure. Certainly deserves a spot on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully maybe I'll have a chance to check that out. And coming up in October, Carpenter will be doing a couple live concerts. Of course, he composed most of the music on all of his movies. And I've been and seen him there before, but Halloween night is going to be a special night for me there in Los Angeles, man.
Second time seeing him live.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be the second time you meet him, and it'll be the second time it's awkward.
We'll see. I don't know if it was awkward. necessarily. It was fun.
Sure.
It was very fun.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. We will wrap up the show here next on the X Rock.
Injured at Park
Is Holy Water, and that's going to wrap up the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J got an A this weekend from Mrs. Big J for working his tail off in the yard for the weekend grade. That ties your record high, Big J. Congratulations to you, sir. Hopefully you felt like you've earned that and you are proud of the grade that you did accumulate for yourself this weekend, as well you should be. Special thank you to Ed Helms for popping by and talking about his Season 3 of the SNAFU podcast he has created. You can check it out wherever podcasts are available. If you missed any part of that interview, check out our socials. That's where you can see the video version of us yapping with Ed Helms, or at least the headshot of Ed Helms, while we yap at him. And so we appreciate him always popping by. That was a great conversation. And make sure you check out the podcast, which also is fantastic. If you're curious about American history at all, maybe some of the stuff that was swept under the rug, SNAFU is definitely for you. Gave away some sold-out tickets to go check out Hollywood and Undead tonight, so not bad there. And we even gave away $2,025 today to Brooke. Congratulations again to her for cashing that check and playing along with inflation domination. Big J, that leaves you the floor, sir.
Yeah, we got some good news here over the weekend, and Peacemaker Season 2 hitting streaming on Max August 21st.
Did you see some of the footage that came out for the kind of like coming soon to HBO thing?
Yeah.
Fun. We didn't get much, but you got to look at what he looks like and having some fun. And of course, shouldn't be surprised what Peacemaker look like at this point if you watch Season 2.
Yeah.
Or Season 1, but I am excited for it, as well you should be too.
One of those one-offs where the wife has been asking me relentlessly, when's Peacemaker 2 coming out?
She enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good.
Doesn't care about anything else happening around it. But just loves, I don't know, John Cena or just Peacemaker in general.
You're not going to be able to get her to the Superman?
No.
All right.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, listen. We're going.
Yeah.
Correct? Just making sure.
Damn right.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. That is it for us. Thank you for hanging out with us. Jason Drew's up next. We'll see you all tomorrow. It's the X Rocks.
DQ